Step 4. Everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Welcome to Tales from the Field. My name is Bradley Ball, and it is so good to have you with us. Welcome to the new Tuesday Roundtable. We are switching things up a little bit over here at Tales from the Field, and we are excited. Last week, we had Vicky Hart, Principal Program Group Manager in the Windows Developer Experience team on the show. We released our MS Tech Bits, make your SQL managed instance general purpose faster. And wow, thank you for the response. That is our most watched video to date, and we really appreciate you out there. Monday, we released Andreas and Neeraj on OpenAI and the OpenAI Playground. Wonderful video. Also doing amazing. Make sure you go check that out. And we are releasing daily shorts on interviewing for SQL database, for SQL Server DBA jobs. You don't want to miss those. If this is your first time finding your way over to a YouTube channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you want to interact with this show, there are so many easy ways to be able to do that. We are streaming right now on Twitter under Tales from the Field. Josh Ludeman, Neeraj Jafari, SQL Balls. We're streaming over at LinkedIn at SQL Balls. We're streaming, of course, on YouTube at the hub for Tales from the Field. If you go make a comment on any one of those locations where we have our stream, one of my amazing co-hosts will see that, and we'll add it to the show. It's an easy way for you to be able to join in with us. And speaking of my amazing co-host, I am joined by Andreas Padilla, Josh Ludeman, and shiny like the sun, but twice as bright, your friend and mine, Neeraj Jafari. So I was going to say, Neeraj is so bright, you're going to need shades, Josh.
Yeah, I left him out in the car. I'm in trouble for the day.
Andreas, we dropped our MS Tech Bit on OpenAI and the OpenAI Playground with Azure with you and Neeraj on Monday. This Wednesday, I'm up. I have an introduction to SQL Server wait stats. Busy times over here at Tales from the Field.
Yep. No, absolutely. A lot of great content coming.
Yeah, Andreas, you're on mute, buddy.
Oh man, I pulled a mute guy. Yeah, lots of great stuff. I think we also did we not drop something else? It was not the OpenAI, but it was something else.
Shorts,
right?
Shorts.
The SQL interview shorts. Yeah.
Man, I love that. The OpenAI, check it out. It's, how to get your foot in the door. Just a simple 10-minute video. You're in, while you're cooking or serving yourself a beer, you can be done with that video. No big deal.
Well, I got to tell you, I loved that video. I love the demos in there, and I don't want to spoil too much, but you go into the codex and you really run it through several different languages. And I just love the pure breadth of showing how, there's, I don't want to spoil it, but I was going to say there was at least 4, 5, 6 different languages where you said, give me this, give me this, give me this. And it just kept spitting things out. It was amazing.
Oh, I love that. I can now tell it, hey, build me an HDN site, cluster, build me a Databricks cluster, build me a Synapse, with private endpoints, and it'll spit out the Azure CLI and the ARM template for you. Man, that's going to accelerate our deployments in Azure. It's going to be good.
I got to tell you, I got to watch out because I've been his pre-con presenter for forever, but Josh is going to go in there and say, build me an AI chatbot that can replace Bradley Ball.
That question may have already been posed to a certain OpenAI model. I'm working on the proper question or prompt for chat.
Can you recommend the hats for Josh?
Ooh.
It can, but it has terrible taste in fashion, so I decided to walk away.
That's okay. Well, not everything can be an instant winner. We're asking a lot of AI.
Oh no, absolutely. You gotta start baby steps.
Excellent. Well, this is the community roundtable. This is where we are featuring the talk that we have and the links that we have brought together that over the past week have found their way into our lives in one shape or another. And so heading over to that roundtable, Neeraj, I have you up first. and I have AWS Lambda function to import CloudTrail logs to Azure Sentinel.
So this was from one of the community data member. He reached out saying, "Can you forecast this my GitHub page?" And that's what I was bringing this up. He's showing us how he can bring the AWS Lambda function, all the logs into Azure Sentinels, a very easy way. I mean, he has given step by step all the process of what needs to be done, and that can bring all the logs into one single place. Very nicely written down blog or a GitHub repository, and he also has all the details in there in that same Git repository.
Very interesting. No, that's some interesting stuff, because I could see some situations where we have customers that are hybrid cloud environments. But I mean, let's face it, the reporting that everybody wants to use is Power BI. And what can you do with logs in Azure Sentinel? Well, you can produce some reports, some really great visualization reports. You can utilize that, and then you can display that in Azure. I love it. Fantastic stuff. All right, I am up next, and I am going to go with one of my friends. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to go with Rob Selwell, DBA with a beard. And Rob is a tremendous bike rider. Josh, I know you're going to recognize him from some of the tweets that we do on that exercise group that we've got going on Twitter.
No,
and what he taught. Oh, sorry.
No, I was saying no, absolutely. I was just agreeing with you. You're fine. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, and he lives over in Wales, and he has just beautiful pictures of that countryside. I mean, rolling green hills, sheep, everything that you can imagine. And he goes out for some phenomenal bike rides. And so we're looking at SQL Bits. It's the largest data platform conference in Europe. And honestly, I think it could have been the largest data platform conference last year in total. We'll see how it ends up ranking this year. But there is a huge crowd that comes over there. And what he talks about is how you can utilize PowerShell to be able to go and get your SQL Bits schedule. And then how you can determine it, and then how you can get an output of it. So you can print it as a CSV, as an HTML page. But it's wonderful, beautiful stuff. I love it because it allows you to be able to do something functional, but also figure out, hey, how can I utilize technology to be able to do this? So just really, really love that whenever we get an opportunity. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's a comment up there.
Yeah. So Daniel Taylor, our good buddy. Hey, Dan. Rob's beard makes me jealous. I live to have a beard like that. I don't know. Whenever I see Dan, I told him I just want to grab his chin and some scissors. I won't.
Let me be there for that. I want to be there for that. We should place a good bet with Dan. Let's see him put his beard on the line.
One day, because one day we're going to have a Tales from the Field offsite. I think that'll be a good old time.
SQL Jacksonville, right? That's where he's coming.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was going to say, as Andreas once said, he's going to have to sleep with one eye open whenever he's walking next to us.
You just don't mess with another man's beard. I'm just saying. You just don't.
That's a fair point. Dan says he's a fast little guy. That's okay. Now Neeraj, now that Dan has joined the team officially, he's got a beard. Josh has a beard. Andreas, it looks like you're growing your beard back. The non-beard guys, we are outnumbered here.
Yeah,
as it should be.
I was going to say, Neeraj is going to grow the thickest, most beautiful beard y'all have ever seen. He's going to be like, oh, you want to see a beard?
My wife will throw me out of the house. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, so we're safe from now. We're safe from Andreas. I have you up next. You have IoT production training pack.
Oh, thank you to Raul Alarcon, Chris Ayers, Mike Bazarewski for putting this training pack together. If you're getting into IoT, and today I'm actually concentrating more on IoT in the post that I have, this is a zero to hero repo right here. It not only talks to you about how to get into IoT, but one of the hardest things to manage in IoT is certificates on not just one device, but imagine 20,000 devices. How do I scale that out? How do I make that happen? They take you and they make you a pure expert in certificates in about an hour. Just give that a read, because managing certificates in IoT is actually a pretty tricky thing. But they also jump into the DevOps of IoT, and then the IoT Edge 101. What do I need to do to get a small containerized module working on a device? Thank you to you guys. Kudos. Can't wait to. I'm sinking my teeth into the certificates right now, because I have a customer who's been asking, and we're like, I need to deploy 20,000 devices this year and 100,000 devices next year. What can I do? And I said, okay, here you go. This is what you need to follow.
That is a massive amount of devices. No, this is fantastic. And I love it because there's so many different things each of us get to get into in the world of data and working with customers out there. That is a tough thing to figure out. You're right. The second you said certificate device management, I went, oh yeah, that's fascinating. Good stuff. All right. So next up, we have Mr. Josh Ludeman. Another really interesting one, farming for space, how orbital data is unlocking novel architectural insights or agricultural insights. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it looked like it looks like it rendered funny on your page, but it's actually a blog post from the Azure blog, and so for me, I mean, a lot of technologists, it's really cool to see what a service can do, right? This article actually goes through, takes into account Azure Orbital and HPC, and integrating data and machine learning models to predict weather, as far as in areas where crops and food is a major problem. So that, yeah, Brad, you can scroll back up. It kind of rendered funny on you.
Yeah, it's yeah. Sorry about that.
Weird, but it's it's looking at how they applied technology through the Azure platform, including Azure HPC and orbital data satellites, to predict survival of crops and actually produce a more performant crop to help with food creation. It's a food growth. It's awesome.
Cool.
Just for me, again, I'm in architecture. It's great to see what one service can do, but these stories about how when you bring different things together to solve a global problem like hunger, oh, I'm in.
No, that is amazing. I love that. Yeah, talk about solving big problems. I mean, utilizing data in very amazing ways. Absolutely cool stuff. Neeraj, I have you up next. Power BI paginated report subscriptions
So
with
this
Mr. Oliver van Steenland.
Yep. So this article, nicely written article by Oliver. This came up when I was doing some research for one of my customers, right? I mean, they have a big SSRS shop, and they wanted to see what are the options in there. And I'm like, let me look more details into it. Paginated report, Power BI paginated report might be one of the solutions that they can do it. And nicely written down how you can migrate your reports into it, what paginated Power BI paginated report can do it, how to set it up. I mean, he has given step by step how to set it up. I mean, that's something that it's always easy to. I mean, it's always hard to do it up, and you are setting up the paginated report. So very nicely written down. And then also he has data-driven subscription, right? I mean, if data not supported, but there are ways to do it. So he has given out a whole way how you can do the data-driven subscription with a video in there. So that's something that was interesting.
Very nice. Very nice. Love that. Always love it when we get those details. All right. Right. Up next, got Advancing Spark Power BI connector with native SQL. So we have Mr. Simon Wheatley on again. And I really loved this video because one of the things he did, so Databricks has introduced a native live connector that you can use to do live queries across Databricks natively within Power BI. And what I love is not only does he go through it, but he has a gentleman on who works specifically with Power BI. They walk through all the individual steps to do it, but then they actually rate it. And I love this because sometimes a feature comes out and there's a lot of fanfare around it, and people go, so does that mean I use this now? And they ask that exact question. And I love it because his Power BI expert said specifically, no, I wouldn't. There are specific use case scenarios where you might use this, but no, you want to be able to use the power of Power BI. You want to use those tabular models sitting in memory to be able to pull this in very, very quickly. And I love that they got into real world scenarios. So often you can have a feature that comes out, but there's a little confusion on when should I use this and not. There were some edge cases that he gave, which I think were brilliant to be able to send those out. But I think for any technologist who's looking to understand a new feature that's coming out, that's now out in Databricks that you could utilize for Power BI, it may sound like, oh, what do I need to know about this? They really did a great job of breaking that down in this video. So you want to go check that out. Let's see. Next up, I have Andreas. Automatic IoT Edge Certificate Management with Global Sign EST. I'm beginning to see a little bit of a pattern here, buddy.
You saw the pattern there. I entered the IoT pack, and now a great little article by John Leon that was posted on back in February. Thanks for posting this, John. This takes you the next mile that you want to know about how to manage IoT X509 certificates and IoT devices, leveraging IoT Hub device provisioning service. But what the twist is that he's leveraging Global Sign's IoT Edge enrollment service, which you can set up so they can do the scaling out of the certificate management. So it's like getting an assistant to create or renew your license. Each device needs its own license to drive a car. Now I have an assistant that does that for me. He goes to the DMV, which is the Global Signs service. He renews the license for me. He gives it back to my device. Beautiful. Now with that license, he can go into my IoT Hub and deliver some messages.
Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful done. Thanks, John.
Yeah. Very nice stuff. I love it. I always love it when people give this level of detail and they don't leave anything out, so that way people can go.
And who wants to go to the DMV? I don't.
Right? No, I'd much rather have an assistant. I love that idea. Yeah, please go to the DMV for me.
Yeah, DMV. Who likes to go stand in a line and be yelled at?
You want to hear something really funny? So Andreas, this is mainly for you because you got super young kids, but you're going to need this one day. Speaking of the DMV. For my kids' college application, I not only had to give information for my driver's license to prove that we're residents of Florida, you needed the original date when you first get your driver's license in Florida. And that's nowhere on the driver's license card. Like you'll get, here's when it was last issued. Here's like when I moved here and I changed my address to this new house. I changed it and it's got the reissue date with the new address on it. It's got the expiration. It's got my birth date. Doesn't have the original origin date on there. But you know what ID card does? Your voter registration card, because it has when you first registered to vote in the state of Florida, which would have been whenever you first got your driver's license.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
sorry, the DMV made me think about that. And so when you're looking for that information and you're trying to prove your state residency for your kids going to college, Josh, you've got a few years till your next one. But
I was going to say, I've only got 4 years and by then I'll still have it in memory. But to be fair, I'm also mean to my kids. So when it came time to do the college applications, my oldest one, if she's watching this right now, she's going to start nodding in the quad at UCF right now. But when it came time to apply for college, she's like, so when are we going to do this? I'm like, what is this the royal we? She was like, yeah, when are we doing this? I'm like, no. You go to college, you apply. Welcome to being an 18-year-old.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing I completely figure out. So in 4 years, when you need to know this, you can call me and I'll go, who this new phone?
I was going to say, in 5 years, when you need to do it, you can go, what the hell did I tell you last year?
Yeah, I'm going to get you to that's literally why I said this. So I don't need to remember. I'm going to come back to this roundtable discussion. I'm going to be like, now I know voter registration card.
Now we can add another tag in YouTube, college applications.
There we go. I read recently that the tags are useless. Thanks, YouTube.
Good to know.
I spent a lot of time on those tags. All right. So up next, we have, let's see, I lost my place a little bit. We have Josh This is SQLBI.com using calculation
Yep.
groups or many-to-many relationships for
Yep,
time
and
intelligence
so
selection.
yeah, and this is a great article because it's the video itself, but if you click on the link under comments, Brad, that's red writing.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that one. It actually takes you. You can scroll all the way to the top, and it takes you to the handwritten or the typed article blog post on it too. So it comes with a blog post and a video. The video is
Nice.
out on YouTube as well, and renders in that, and what they call the SQL BI TV. Yep, renders there as well.
Gotcha.
But it actually goes through, two different approaches for time intelligence in Power BI. So for me, if you've ever attended one of my sessions before at a conference, one of my favorite lines is, in IT, there is no silver bullet to do everything. I love these videos and blogs where they actually go, here's the business problem you need to do, and here's 2 different ways to do it, or multiple ways to do it. Because not every time are you going to be able to use the calculation group for whatever's going on in your Power BI model, but you may not always be able to use many-to-many relationships either because of other data modeling decisions. So this actually walks through being able to add that time intelligence in Power BI and go about it in 2 different ways. So I just personally, I really love that approach. And also, honestly, it's Alberto Ferrari. It's one of the Italians doing on SQLBI.com. Whenever you have a DAX issue, Power BI issue, you go to our friends at Guy in the Cube, and then you go over there to SQLBI.com, and they've got between one of the 2, you'll be covered.
I was going to say you can't go wrong with those 2 folks. I've seen them present at the past summit before.
If you have a problem in Power BI and one of those 2 places can't solve it, you're the problem. No, I'm just kidding.
Then it's a bug.
Yeah, heard it here first. All right.
You love it. No, but
All right,
seriously,
Neeraj,
they cover the gamut.
Neeraj, I've got you up next with Azure Synapse Spark Notebook Unit Testing by Arun Satitha.
Yeah, so a very nicely written blog. The reason I brought this up was I was playing around and one of my customers asked him up, like, okay, how do I do unit testing? I mean, they are big on unit testing. They want to do DevOps setting, and then we came up with, okay, let me find something that can be interesting in there. He has really written down in Spark how to do that, particularly with the code organization, how you should put it up and start putting in there with pros and cons. Also, he's giving like what will be the pros and what will be the cons on it, and then he gives each and every details on how to do that part of it. They have examples in there. I mean, he's also shown some examples if you go at the bottom, Brad, where he's showing examples how to do the unit testing in Spark. Test examples in there.
Oh, perfect.
So
that's
nicely written
beautiful
down. Yeah, nicely written down.
Yeah, really good stuff. I love it. Well, we were just talking about them a second ago, so I'm going to go next, and I'm going to go with Guy in a Cube, Patrick LeBlanc, who will be over at SQL Bits with me as well. So is Adam Saxon going to be over at SQL Bits, providing data lake access with Azure Synapse Analytics. One of the things I got to tell you that I love about this field is they haven't done a video together in a while, and it was just nice to see. They had some fun. They played around a little bit, but they gave great information. This is something that I know customers have had issues with understanding how to be able to grant access to the data lake. They did it at a very high level by granting access via the storage blob data contributor, but also giving it to a specific database and giving Adam data reader rights, which I love because you don't want to do God access mode, right? We don't want to add somebody and give them the sysadmin right or the sysadmin or the SQL admin owner role in Synapse Analytics. And so this is a better way to be able to make this a little more nuanced. So this was a fun video, but it was very informational about how you would grant someone that access so they could execute a query against a serverless pool and be able to get data back from their data lake. All right. Up next, I have Andreas once more. Andreas, final go of the day, best computer vision projects with source code and data set.
Well, before I get to the thing, I was sad because my 2-year-old got her hands on my AI car, and her little fists of fury broke the antenna. And I turned around for 2
Oh.
seconds. But then I got happy because I saw this article by Naima San. And you know what you can do? He has a list of all these great vision AI projects that you can get into, like object detection. What's a good one? People counting, sentiment analysis, so I can see if Brad is happy or sad. That makes me happy. So great source.
Lego brick finders so that you can have a
Wait,
camera
I just want to
pointing
double
at
check.
you.
Knowing how I feel makes you happy, or me being sad makes you happy? Now I don't know what to. Sentiment analysis. Brad feels confused.
I mean, with the wall of Legos behind me, I love the Lego brick finder so that I can just have a camera pointed at my floor that alerts me when a Lego brick is falling on the floor so I don't step on it. AKA the worst pain known to humankind.
See,
Totally
I
true.
got to tell you that's what we need. We need some type of smart glasses with the Lego brick finder, just to be able to like almost Iron Man that thing and be like, caution.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Iron Man, that thing, like it sees it and then shoots it with a repulsor ray and just destroys the brick.
Well, obviously, there needs to be an additional add-on repulsor ray. I mean, what are we talking about here? If there's no
I'm just
repulsor
making
ray,
sure
why am
we're
I
on the
buying the
same page.
glasses?
That's
Yeah,
all.
of course, there's got to be a repulsor ray. Sorry, Andreas, you were saying.
No, nothing. I'd like to cite that we went off into Lego, detection. It's the most painful thing in the world. My 5-year-old does it to me all the time. So we need a solution, and I think we're on to something, Josh.
There we go.
We're in it. Let's go.
So
You had me at repulsor ray.
Yep.
No, but sorry. So these are these amazing different projects, Andreas, and then there's the links to these and also their data sets.
to the actual source code where you can start leveraging and putting into your own scenario. So you don't have to go, hacking away on the internet looking for the solution. It's all right there.
Oh, I love that. Fantastic. Hold on. Where's the Lego brick set that we need? There,
I know, we
there.
should
Oh,
have-
there we go.
Oh, yes.
There. Now we just need those Jarvis AI vision goggles and our repulsors. I mean,
The
look,
Edith
if I,
glasses.
yeah, well, I mainly just want to walk around shooting Lego bricks with my
Oh
hand.
yeah, we double, like in Civil War, double tap the watch and pull it over, and
Yeah.
there you go.
I was going to say the next Apple Watch is going to be able to tell me what my diabetes sugar level is. If we can also make it an Iron Man repulsor glove, look, I'm set. I don't need another watch.
There you go.
All right. And last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Josh Ludeman announcing the retirement of streaming data flows.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring this up because this was actually announced last week. Again, not a major community blogger, so to speak, but important for the community to know. They're gonna the Power BI team is actually deprecating streaming data flows. But the reason being is not because it's being deprecated as a whole, but because it's actually being merged with Azure Stream Analytics no code editor. So while it's being deprecated in the Power BI product, it's actually it's being deprecated from being supported by Power BI. It's actually just moving over to Azure Stream Analytics. So the reason I wanted to bring it up and so urgently is because starting during the month of March, and it lists starting mid-March of 2023, you won't be able to create the streaming data sets anymore, or editing the streaming data flows, or even running them. So it was more of an urgent announcement sort of thing, which is why I wanted to bubble this up. Just because it's kind of a big change that if you're using it, you're going to have to move over fairly quickly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good to alert the community. All right. So I think we're at the wrap up, right? Any
Wrap up?
wrap up? Did I not say that?
Are we we're talking about practice? Okay, sorry.
So we have the Open AI Playground available, the MS Tech Bits that we dropped on Monday. We're going to drop another one on Monday, but this is kind of a new thing for us. So we're excited to see how people react to it. It started out just with an unbelievable trajectory, number one for any video that we've had, at least for the period of time that it's been out. So go check that out. It's Andreas Neeraj, one of my favorite ones you've done so far. Kudos to you, gentlemen. I love that. Go check our video on Azure SQL Managed Instance General Purpose, how to make it go faster. I was going to say, if you haven't seen it, you're one of the few. A lot of people have checked that out, and you don't want to miss it either because you want your SQL Managed Instance going faster. You all want your managed instance general purpose going faster. Let's see. Call for content. We're going to have our roundtable on Tuesdays from now on. So that means you've got some time starting right now. Hit us up. Let us know what you've got going on. We want to be able to feature you here on this show. We want to be excited about the wonderful things that are going on that you are doing out there. SQL Bits next week. As a matter of fact, this time next week, I will be in a foreign location. I'm excited about that. It'll be about 5 o'clock for me. The end of the day, end of a long travel day. I'm flying in. I'll be tired. Josh will probably have to host us. We'll see. But anyway, SQL Bits is going on. It's also a hybrid event. Don't forget, you can still sign up for it. You don't have to be in Wales to be able to access the great content and the pre-cons that will be going on. SQL Saturday Jacksonville. Speaking of pre-cons, myself, Neeraj Jafari, Dan Taylor, we have a pre-con DBA 101. The calendar, the schedule of events is not up, but every single member of Tales from the Field has submitted. We will be up in Jacksonville. We're looking forward to having some fun up there. And I was going to say, you had your ML Ops on Monday. Do we have any other FTA live sessions set up for Andreas or Neeraj that are coming up?
I just had mine last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will let you know the next time that you get to catch one.
Yeah, I'm on schedule for another one. I don't know. I think it's in April or May. I'll let you know next session.
Absolutely. Next time we will figure it out. Dan says that the foreign press is ready for SQL Balls at Bits. Oh, Dan, the foreign press is never ready for me. And I know that because every time I run up there with a bucket, they never know whether it's confetti or water. They're always surprised. Gosh, they really do enjoy it when I travel abroad. It's just when I try and come home that they're like, yeah, go faster. All right. I think that's it for us. Thank you all so much. Gentlemen, have a wonderful week. Remember, MS Tech Bits tomorrow, and then we've got shorts coming all this week. If we don't see you before, have a great weekend. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be